In your experience, Jerry and Albert came back last week after layoffs. What kind of leap do they make from game one back to game two back?
I think it'll be. I hope it's noticeable, but I think they did a good job last week. Certainly would like to see. You like to see everybody get more opportunities. You like the runner to get more touches. You like each player to get more opportunities. They did a good job with the ones that they had, and they had an impact on the game. But it's just like anything. Typically, their bodies will feel better. They're through the rhythm one more time, and so I anticipate to go out and have an impact.
If Noah can't go, how much confidence do you have in Alberto to fill his role?
Absolute confidence in Big O. As we've talked about it, and I think maybe you asked me the question a few weeks back about the difference from Big O this year and last year, and he's just a year better. There's more urgency to his game. He can make a play. He's a little faster than he might appear. So he's got the skill and ability to have an impact in the passing game, and quite frankly, he's done a decent job. With the run game stuff as well.
What's been your impression as you watched him of Micah Parsons on film and what he does well for them?
Well, he's an outstanding player. They use him in a couple different spots. Obviously they'll play him inside, kind of off the line as a bump linebacker, where he does a very good job. And then, they'll put him down on the edge, opposite of Gregory in pass rush settings, and that's where I think everybody's seeing the impact he can have on the game as a rusher. Well, that's part of it. I think he did do a nice job in training camp. He had a lot of real good snaps during the offseason. And so, we're very confident that he'll go out and play. He was asked to play a couple games last year and went out and played well. And so, he moves his feet well. He's tough. He's instinctive. And, he's a battler. So we anticipate he'll have a good game.
You're averaging about the same amount of points as last year, but compared to this point last year, you're averaging about a half point more per possession. So are you disappointed that the average per game is the same? Or are you pleased with the per possession?
It's a weird year that way with regard to possessions. It's very low from what you're used to seeing. You used to say it was a 12-round fight. You get 11 or 12. We've had a couple games this year where 8 or 9. And, it's just puts a premium on making sure. Listen, when we get the ball, we're charged with going and scoring, regardless of the situation. And we just got – when we have our opportunities, we got to get points. In the game the other night, it was 10-10, and we found a way to, drive the ball and go up 17-10. And, games are all played out differently. The Vikings, when they played the Cowboys, I think it was 13-16. In the same part of the game, the Cowboys went down, got a drive, got a score, and then they stopped Minnesota. So some games play out that way. But you're always going out with the idea that you're going to score on every drive.
George said basically he believes in you, believes in Vic, but you got to get better. Is there specific areas that, as you look at it now at the halfway point?
I think as we look through it, we're getting some players back that can help us, in the passing game. Jerry being back, Big O being back. We fought through the first half of this season. We're 4-4, so we're in it, and now we got to just continue to get better in all areas. I feel like week to week there's some things that improve. Like we were better on third down last week. We were 2 for 2 in the red zone, so. We're capable of doing those things, and making an impact on the game. And I think that's fair to say. If you haven't won all your games, and even teams that are undefeated are always looking to improve, and I think we're no different.
When you're playing a team that scores as many points as Dallas does that impact how you call a game at all?
I think we got to go out with every drive, try to score. And I think then we'll take it from there. But I think it's important, you just don't go out and do one thing. We got to do the things that work the best against the Cowboys, and that always involves running and throwing.
How do you avoid Trayvon Diggs without ignoring an area of the field or wherever he is?
Yeah, he's an outstanding player, and then we just structure our offense to kind of attack their defense, and we're just aware of where all the really good players are.
Can I ask you a Michigan State question? Have you been able to
Sure.
to watch him, and what do you think of the job Mel Tucker's doing? I know Saturday's going to be busy.
Yeah, no, I'm certainly proud of the job Mel's done. I keep close track from afar of what's happening with our school, and that was a big win last weekend for any Spartan to beat Michigan is a big deal, and they've had a great year aside from that. So they put themselves in position to finish this year and maybe do some great things. So I'm proud of their efforts. I'm proud of what he's done, and I've known Mel a long time, and I'm rooting for him.
You mentioned how few possessions you've had in some games. How much of that is due to the fact that the offense has been going 3 and out less, and has kind of your own offense has extended drives over the course of the year?
I think so. I think, we make an effort to get explosive plays. Typically if you have a long scoring drive, there's some form of an explosive play in there that gets you a chunk. But there's an efficiency, component to that. There was in the old days, we used to look at runs plus pass completions, and if you had more than your opponent and there wasn't some crazy stat that flipped it like turnovers, you win at a high level. That's changed a little bit, but efficiency is important. You want to stay on the field. You want to convert on third down. If you don't convert on third down, you want to do it on fourth down. You want to stay on the field, and I think that's what some teams are doing. And you're seeing a lot of that. When you have low possessions like this, teams are driving and moving the ball around. But when you get down close, you got to score.
That last drive unraveled in a weird way. You're not telling guys to fumble, but can it be a learning experience, or what did you talk to the guys about regarding that last possession?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're in 4 minute, and you're usually running it or maybe a play action, and that's what we did. Certainly, ball security is at a premium, not only throughout the game, but especially at that point. And so those are the things we coach. We certainly didn't go out there with the idea that we were going to put the ball on the ground twice. And what you're trying to do is obviously end the game with the ball, and we didn't do that. And so.
When Javonte fumble, was there talk about, let's just take a knee here and then kick and let our defense, or no?
No, I mean, he fumbled. Can't do it. We're fortunate to fall on it. We ran a play action, which is, a naked, which is not uncommon in those settings, right? I think week previous, Cleveland started their 4-minute drive with it. So that's not uncommon. We just need to execute that better, and then you certainly, don't expect that the ball would be on the ground the third play. So those are the things that keep us up at night as coaches, but we believe in our players. We coach them on the individual level, in the group setting, in the meeting room, on the field, and you just hope that happens to those guys once in a lifetime and never again.
On that series, Chase Young kind of whipped around Noah and got to Melvin for the strip. So obviously Noah's not out there right this week because of COVID, but what does he need to do both as a run blocker and in pass pro to get better?
Well, it just goes back to everybody improving at everything that they do. But with regard to ball security, it doesn't matter how many guys are around you. We can't put the ball on the ground. I think that's pretty obvious. It goes without saying. But yeah, I mean, it's just in all those settings, and especially in those settings where they know we're going to run and we're running the ball, that's when you got to really bear down and get your job done.
From your perspective, do you think you've been more efficient when Teddy's under center?
I don't know. We've done both. We had a couple plays the other day that blew up on us because we got, he tripped once, and then. But I think it's important that you're under center and in the gun and try to maintain some balance in all those settings. But Teddy functions well under center, and I believe in doing both.
The reason I ask is because in the 4 wins, you've been under center far more. Is that coincidence?
Well, I think I don't know. I think when it depends on the game and depends on what you're trying to do with the defense. The big thing is whether you're under center or in the gun, there's some balance to what you're doing. That's the key to it. There's some teams that are always in the gun, but they find a way to have balance and win games. And then there's some teams that you don't see it as much anymore just because of the way the game is played, but there's some teams that are under center more than others. And we just watched the Vikings as an example. They're under center a lot, you know, and then obviously the challenge is to be able to move the ball whether you're running it or throwing it.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.